Only a 12th level intellect has the slightest hope of surviving what you are about to experience.
3, 2, 1, clap.
You clapped early. You said, yeah.
I did clap before I said
I'm gonna
clap. You want to do it again?
No, I'll
do a fast
clap
one.
when you say clap. I got it.
3, 2, 1, clap.
That's a fast clap. Ooh.
I did a slow one. I did a slow, messed up one, and now it's a regular one.
Is the opening
fast
joke
one.
now just always us clapping?
Have we included that in a previous episode?
Yeah. Did you not listen to your own podcast?
I do. It's been. I haven't listened to the last 2 though. I'm sorry. I listened to most of them.
Yeah, I know. I listen
Just
to
about
all
all
of
of
them
them.
because I have to. I'm listening to this right now. In fact.
Me
in
too.
the future
This is a great
Twilight
episode.
Zone.
This is one of the best episodes ever.
I think so too.
You are in luck that you're listening to this one.
What even is this podcast though? I'm not.
Is
sure.
it number 29? It's
Uh,
episode 29
yeah.
of 12th Level Intellects. There's a lot of numbers involved.
there is, yeah.
Yeah.
I had a friend in town today who was saying something. He said something really stupid, and then he said, "Oh yeah, I'm a next level intellect too." And I said, "That's not the name of the podcast." And he said, "Oh."
Next would be 13th level.
Yeah. Next,
Is that a good segue to Halloween? It's Halloween right now.
sure. It was Halloween yesterday for us.
That's true.
It was Halloween several
And
days
it's going to be
ago.
5 days ago
Yeah,
by the time
yeah.
you're listening.
I'm James. That's Ted. That's the only other information
Hey.
you needed to know. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is
The 13th level intellects graduated.
We're talking about stuff today. We're going to talk a little bit about our latest Legacies of the DCAU issue that we put out on Halloween. We're also going to talk about Batman the Animated Series episodes to kind of commemorate the Blu-ray release of the show, which has...
I got to get a Blu-ray player.
Yeah, you really do.
That means I need a PS4. That's what that means.
Yeah. Get a video game console that get you a girl who can do both.
I got the DC Universe streaming app,
Yeah,
so I already
yeah.
have it all in
You've
HD.
basically been able to see. Well, you could only see the first 2 seasons or something.
Yeah, they don't have any of the...
But now I have it all.
Gotham Knights.
Something interesting about the Blu-ray set is that it's they separate the episodes differently than the DVDs do. It's by season instead of volume. So it only has 3 seasons in the Blu-ray, and season 3 is New Batman Adventures.
Oh,
so
wow.
I don't know how they decided to do that. But
There's only 3 seasons listed on the DC app, but I don't think the New Batman Adventures
I don't know.
is in
Maybe
there
they
season
just decided
3.
to do it that way.
I don't know. I could be wrong. I'd have to look it up.
Okay, but anyway, we're done talking about. We'll talk about that later. So my little newsy poos. There's a Reign of the Supermen trailer that came out a couple days ago.
That looked good.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's an actual trailer, not just the post movie creators talking about stuff. They show all 4 of the Supermen, and kind of this one. I'm definitely more interested in this than I was in Death of Superman, and Death of Superman surprised me.
too.
So.
Well, I knew that this was coming,
Yeah.
which is a reason why I was like, I'll watch Death of Superman, because it's going to lead
have
to
to,
this
yeah.
movie. You gotta, it looks awesome. It looks very true to the original series, the Death and Return of Superman.
The designs are just tweaked enough to fit with the New 52-y designs, but they look a lot like the comic, especially Eradicator. He's got the goggles and everything, so that's pretty cool.
And Cyborg Superman is really true to character. They all, when they first arrive, all are trying to be the next Superman, and you can kind of see it in each of them. They have different aspects of what makes Superman. So, and then there's Superboy, who's the very 90s earring style leather jacket version, which is awesome. That's always the best.
Yeah,
version
I'm glad that they
comic
kept the leather jacket and didn't try to do some new updated version. Is the Superboy in current
the black shirt?
Yeah, well, in current comics, is he?
He wasn't. He wasn't around, and he was in the New 52, but it was a very different take on him. And then like his origin had been rebooted and everything. But he was kind of written off at Rebirth, and then there's been Jonathan Kent, who I guess is Superboy,
Okay.
Superman's son. He's been the current Superboy.
It's not
but
the same
Connor
character.
Kent, no, Connor Kent he was in like Detective Comics a little bit from the Titans of Tomorrow version, the futuristic version of himself. But he's gonna come back in the Young Justice comic from Brian Michael Bendis.
Okay.
I don't know if he's writing it, but it's part of that Wonder Comics line.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, because I know I can see him in a
Yeah.
modern version in my head.
Yeah, so he's coming in he's going to be in a comic book with Tim Drake's Robin. He's not Red Robin. It looks like he's actually Robin, and then Impulse.
It's like an unintentional
Wonder Girl.
Unintentional separate news that's happening.
I know. Yeah, it kind of turned into that Connor Kent. So that's gonna be a cool book. Anyway, is there anything else about Reign of Superman?
I like at the end of the trailer. There's some shot of like the rest of the Justice League standing there, and some kind of big like explosion happens where it looks like they die. And
it was Batman, Hawkman.
Yeah, they're all like taken out of commission. I wonder if that's near like the start of the movie, so that you can focus on all the Supermen for the movie, for most of the movie.
Because they built a universe now, so it's not like, well, where's this guy? How come this guy doesn't help? We saw the movie with that person. Yeah.
Like if Wonder Woman's here, why doesn't she just take over for Superman? Like they got to get him out of the way or something. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I'm gonna see it. So
yeah, Rainn Wilson is Lex Luthor.
Reign
That's
of the
Dwight
Superman
from The
Wilson.
Office.
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome. He does a good job. I was very surprised.
My favorite
He's a
part
good
of
voice.
that Batman the Animated Series honest trailers was when they pointed out how Bruce Wayne dresses like Dwight with the yellow shirt and brown jacket.
For the Honest trailers, there's a really funny Honest trailers video out that just came out for the Batman Blu-ray release.
That's what I said.
And it's good. Yeah, that's what you said. I'm reiterating it.
Oh, okay, thank you. By the way, there's a video on the Screen Junkies channel. They do this little show called Honest Trailers, and they did one recently
I heard of that.
on Batman the Animated Series. I also apologize for all the echo because I'm in a new apartment, but you don't care about that.
And I apologize because my roommate's in the next room watching the end of Daredevil season 3, and I told him if he has any like honest reactions to yell as loud as he can. I could have asked him to be quiet.
Wilson Fisk, just blah, blah, blah.
Just listen for it. I think it might happen at some point of the episode. But I want to talk about that show later too, so it makes good background music over here.
I still haven't watched it, but you can.
I'll do a spoilers-free version. It'll be cool.
I did read Doomsday Clock finally, so we can finally talk about that. Just in time for maybe the next one to just come out. What's your news?
We'll save that for our comic relief.
Yeah.
We're still on news. So today, as of November 1st, I don't know why I should say today. Anyway, Ewan McGregor was cast in Birds of Prey. He's going to be Black Mask.
Ooh.
The Batman villain Black Mask.
I like
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah. It's cool.
Hello
it's the
there.
movie that's being, I guess, is it being directed by Margot Robbie? She's definitely producing it. I think she's directing it.
I don't think so. I hope not.
I think she is, and I think that could be really cool. Hold on. I got to confirm that. So she's definitely in it. I want to give her credit. Harley Quinn's in it with Black Canary and Renee Montoya. Yeah.
They did a very traditional Suicide Squad when they did Suicide Squad, like all the expected membership, I guess, except maybe for like Shark and something else. But the Birds of Prey seems like, why is it different? Like, why is it not our Oracle? And like, I don't know. Why is it Harley Quinn?
It's definitely got Huntress and Black Canary.
Yeah.
That's cool. They're important to the Birds of Prey. And then who they had? It was Renee Montoya, Harley Quinn, Cassandra Cain, who was Batgirl in the 90s. Mm-hmm. She's supposed to be a main character.
Why are so many women
there's your Batgirl.
Cain have different spellings?
Yeah, well, I mean, she's like a reinvention because it was originally in the Silver Age. Kathy Kane.
Yeah.
And Betty Kane was Firebird, her sidekick. And so, and I think they had, I don't know, wasn't Martha like Bruce's mama Kane at some point? And then in other versions,
that's her maiden
she's
name,
in Arkham.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Then the Earth 1 stuff, she was revealed to be an Arkham. That was cool.
But anyway,
yeah, so the Canes, they keep giving the new Batwoman characters the same last name of
Kathy
Kane, just to
Duquesne
kind of
in Mystery of the
just to
Batwoman.
pay. Yeah, it's a homage.
Duquesne. Yeah.
But yeah, Ewan McGregor's a great actor.
Yeah.
We love him. He's been in so many awesome things, and it's gonna be really cool to see him in this villain role.
Yeah, he doesn't get to do that very often or ever.
I would never have cast him like that.
Yeah.
You know, like that's
he's a very
that
like
really surprised
homey, like approachable, kind man. Yeah, you know, he just gets to boss around mobsters and cuss probably and kill people randomly.
Yeah, Black Mask. I mean, you know, he was a really big character in the Under the Hood.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. You would cast someone with
he was featured in the movie,
like a famous face, because why? Like,
because he's got a mask on.
Yeah, but make it a guy you don't know as this character, so that I don't know, you're gonna cover his face so much.
It's kind of like Hugo Weaving as Red Skull.
Yeah, okay.
Think about it, but he's the type of actor who does.
V for you still know it's him. He's just got to take it off at least one scene. Okay.
Yeah, so that's cool.
We talked about how Batman the Animated Series is out on Blu-ray. That was my other like news is that's the case. The article that I have up here is a couple things that are weird about it. Like, the title is Batman the Animated Series is finally in high definition, and there's only one flaw. So I was like, oh, what's their complaint? So I was scrolling through the article, and finally I found the paragraph that says the only complaint is to be made in this otherwise gleeful Bat moment is the omission of a 4K version. And so just thinking, like, you can't be satisfied with like a 30-year-old cartoon finally being in HD, and you're like, well, I wish it was more HD. I wish it was bigger. But then
maybe they're just saving it for another re-release.
Yeah,
in
probably. Yeah. When they have the next best thing. Yeah. Now in VR or something, you can be in the episode. But then they kind of redeem themselves in the next paragraph, because they say DC has multiple animated films on 4K, including one that takes place in the BTAS universe, Batman and Harley Quinn. And it was like, yeah, it's canon, bitch. Like, they agree that it's canon.
Like it or not.
Yeah. And then the only other thing from this article that was kind of weird was, like, I guess it's not them doing it, but Warner Brothers keeps putting out these clips from the shows. Like, this one's from The Laughing Fish that I'm looking at, and they have like a split screen down the middle. So on the left is like what you would have seen on the DVD supposedly, and then on the right is the Blu-ray version. But I can tell the left half is like purposely blurred more to make it kind of pop on the right more, like, oh man, that was so bad before. So it's kind of like, why do you do that? Like,
I would saw that video.
Impressed.
Yeah.
Like, I would still be impressed, but I can tell it was not as bad as what you were presenting me. So I don't know. Whatever. I agree. It's still cool.
I almost shared that. too. I was like,
Well,
cool. Well, let's talk about the episodes. Is that what we're going to do today?
Yeah.
We're going to go through.
The plan. Yeah, we're going to go through all the episodes, but we're not going to spend a lot of time on each one. We're just going to say
like a thing we noticed or remembered.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be fun to try to do like one thing you really liked about the episode and one thing that you thought could have improved, like could have been better, I guess. So the first episode on Leather Wings, my favorite part of this episode is...
I'm not comfortable personally saying what can be improved. I just want to put that out there.
Why?
I'm just going to say what I noticed.
Okay. Well, I'll try to stick to my rules. But I really like On Leather Wings the Kirk Langstrom transformation into Man-Bat. It's like a jarring, like jittery X-Men animated series kind of animation. Like, it has a very 90s animated feel to it. Like, it's something you would see on a Fox Kids program, which is, I don't know how else to explain that, but it always looks cool. Like a Gargoyles kind of transition. I don't know. And also there's a lot of good like cinematography in the episode too. Like the really long shot of Man-Bat like pulling him over the blimp. And the camera like pans along the side of the blimp and stuff. You're smiling as if you have such a funny thing to say there.
It's a great episode. It's the first episode. There's so many important, like, major moments. Like, there's the shot of him, like, does the back grapple for the first time and swings down into action. And
there's also some shot.
No, I was just,
There's some shot with, like, a couple just, like, making out in a hallway, and then Man-Bat surprises them. It's like, oh, this is a kid's show.
It's got that transformation, too, of Langstrom into Man-Bat, where it's the...
Don't make this the joke that this...
No, that's just an amazing, like, a piece of animation of him going from the scientist to the beast, and it's like, that's always...
What a very original thought you have there.
Well, I also really like when the all the SWAT team guys, the SWAT team guys jump out of the truck.
Hut. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's in Phantasm.
That's why I was laughing. I started thinking about the.
Yeah, that's hard not to laugh at. It's such a serious moment.
No, there's no music. There's nothing but the.
Yeah, they do that in Phantasm when they're about to try to shoot Batman in the like construction site or whatever too.
But there's beautiful Shirley Walker music.
Yeah, that's true.
This one's just empty.
That's how it goes.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't really have any complaints about this episode. I'm sure there's something, but I can't think of what it is.
We can't spend that long on each episode.
Yeah.
If this is this will be a 3-hour thing.
No. That's why I'm trying to keep it to, like, say one good thing.
You already
and one bad
broke your
thing.
rules off the first.
Well, you didn't want to say bad things. It's such a good series. I can't possibly say bad things.
No, we'll get there. Just wait till I got Batman in my basement.
Christmas with the Joker, episode 2. Good. Mark Hamill, first Joker appearance. Good voice. Bad animation kind of sucks sometimes. Go.
Good. He's got that puppet. I'm Laffy. Santa's little and it's his really he's
bad.
The best
He's
part.
got this puppet that's like, I'm Laffy.
Bad. I don't know. It's
Robin
awesome
Robin says they don't call you Batman for nothing or whatever. It's just,
I forgot that was that one. Yeah. Do you remember it kind of got adapted into the Super Nintendo Batman video game? Like there's an episode you play where you have to jump on to like giant soldiers with the bayonets.
The ones with like
that was
spade hands that are shooting machine guns. Yeah. Episode 3, Nothing to Fear. This is the first Scarecrow episode. A good,
nice.
It has the classic "I am vengeance, I am the night, I'm Batman" line. Bad. Scarecrow's costume is stupid.
It was weird. Yeah, he was way too skinny of a face, and he never looked like that again.
No, he did not, for a reason. Yeah,
because we'll talk more later about what the Scarecrow looks like.
We sure will. What do you? I don't know if you want. Do you want to?
I chimed in.
Okay.
In. We'll make this fast.
The last laugh. What is this one even?
This is, Joker was in it. Captain Clown. Captain
This
Clown.
is the garbage.
Captain Clown.
Garbage floating. Yeah.
He's got the fishbowl helmet.
Yeah,
Joker
Captain Clown's the best part.
Who killed Captain Clown? He should come back in the upcoming issue of Legacy.
Yeah. Well, they already brought him back in Batman and Harley Quinn somehow.
Which is canon.
Yeah, it sure is. What's a bad thing? I don't know. Batman probably says something stupid. I can't even remember. I gotta watch all these again. I've seen them so many times and yet have not seen them enough. Pretty Poison. That's Poison Ivy's first appearance. And she is good. This is kind of weird, I guess, but my good thing is the one shot that they redid that the overseas animation company didn't do well, where Pamela...
I don't know it that well.
She's walking... So they have dinner, Harvey and Pamela and Bruce, and then...
Their date, that's the bad part.
Yeah, sure.
It's like a third wheel. Which was Bruce the third wheel?
Well, yeah, he just laughs at Harvey Dent when he puts his face. He falls unconscious into his food.
When his friend gets
He's like,
drugged.
"You idiot! Oh, wait a second, I'm Batman." And but yeah, there's a shot of Pamela Isley just walking down out of the restaurant, and she's supposed to look all sexy and like hip hip bouncy and stuff, and the whatever animation company did it really terribly, so like Bruce Timm and people just like redid it themselves, and it's like way smoother and more Disney looking than like anything in the rest of the series, but it's like it's like a really well animated moment. And there's a butt, I guess. Episode 6, The Underdwellers. This is a friggin' terrible episode.
We can't move on without talking about Poison Ivy's Venus flytrap plant.
Okay.
Now we can move on.
We have talked about it. It exists. Yeah, Underdwellers is the sewer king.
Oh, yeah.
So that's bad.
Did I tell you I ran into the writer of this episode on a Facebook comment thread? I forget his name, but he owned it. He was like, I wrote one of the worst Batman stories of all time. It was like, I looked him up and it said, yeah, you did.
But he's famous.
It's about the
now.
sewer king who lives in the bottom of the sewer. And has a bunch of
he's the king
little
of it.
kids that do his bidding. There was a character who kind of came back in the We Are Robin series from the New 52. There was a sewer king then.
Yep. Is that when he's like in one panel just dead on the floor? There's some other one. Yeah. POV.
Rest in peace, Sewer King.
POV is a good episode. It's the like 3 different versions of the same story of Batman saving people. And there's like the police like captain or something is like, hey, what did you do? How'd the thing happen? And they're like, Bullock's like, oh, fuck Batman, he didn't do anything even though he saved me from dying. And Montoya's like, yeah, Batman did everything. And then the other third guy says, I don't remember. But I like it. It's good. It's one of those like, Batman, is he like a creature or a human? Who knows? The Forgotten, that's where Bruce is lost his memory and he's in like a mining camp.
That's right. I always kind of liked that one. Just like the dust. I don't know. I've always liked when Batman impersonates like a random, like new character, like Matches Malone or
Mr.
like in
Smith.
The Dark Knight Returns. He's a grandma in the alleyway.
He's just he can just be whatever. So. He's Killer Croc.
He's a master disguise. People forget that.
My favorite thing from this episode is Alfred trying to pilot the Batwing, and it's like talking to him, your funeral or whatever, as he's piloting.
Then at the end, Robin Dick Grayson impersonates Batman, and he's on stilts.
No. Is that in this one? I thought that was at the end of Strange Secret of Bruce Wayne with Hugo Strange.
Oh, maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Wow.
Okay. This is what I get for not being fresh up on my Batman. This is not the first time this is going to happen. We've got like 80 more to go.
I'll do the same thing. Yeah.
We're going to do all of these. Okay. Or at least the original Batman series. We can weigh it when the time comes. We'll check the time.
What time are we at? Yeah.
When we get to the new adventures.
I think a bad thing from this one is the bad guy. He's like a completely obese, like slave owner guy.
Yeah,
he's really annoying.
Eats like a turkey leg.
Yeah, he does. He's constantly eating. He's really gross.
What's his name? Boss Hog? No, that was the guy from Dukes of Hazzard.
It's Boss Nass. No, that's Star Wars. What is it? It is Boss.
All right, moving on.
It is Boss.
He's Boss. So
be a clown. Mayor. Oh, this is Mayor Hill's son being kidnapped. This is okay.
Oh, yeah.
I like the roller coaster fight between Joker and Batman. It's like it's also immortalized in a really good Bruce Timm drawing that he did. But it's really terrible. The whole episode. It's not well written. The animation is really sluggish and blocky and bad. Although it does have the infamous like Batman thumbs up shot at the end of the episode. So
that's important. Yeah. It's Mark Hamill.
Yeah, that's true.
The Joker. You gotta give it another point just for that. Two-Face.
Okay, we're currently ranking these. Two-Face Part 1 is the better half of the Two-Face two-parter. It's him becoming Two-Face, and like it's the first time you see Big Bad Harv and that side of him and stuff. It's pretty good. Like I think this is the first episode I ever saw of the show, so it sticks with me.
The shot where he's like unmasked, like when his
also really
unraveled for the first time,
and when he's just like sitting in therapy and like lightning flashes and half of his face is Two-Face for a second. That's pretty good.
That's cool.
What's bad about this?
It's definitely nothing. It's a character-defining episode for Two-Face, even in his comic book. Like it's a really important moment for him.
And it
beautiful animation.
It's one of those, like, this bad guy was just kind of a bad guy until the animated series did better at it. What's bad though? I don't know. Nothing.
I don't know. The sort of bad guy's Rupert Thorne.
Yeah,
but he's a cool bad guy. Even he's animated really cool.
It's got the Maddie's favorite Harvey. No. That's also a good thing though. Episode 11. For some reason, there's several episodes between Two-Face Part 1 and 2. I don't know why.
We'll get back to it.
It's Never Too Late. That's
Arnold Stromwell, the
two mob bosses,
and his brother.
Train.
His brother was a priest, and he was a gangster.
His mother was
and
a
he's
priest.
also Tony Zuko's uncle.
Yeah,
we learned that later.
Family
the
ties.
Guy who killed the Graysons. This guy's related to. So
and
it's a redeeming episode, but he's a slime ball. He's related to the guy who killed Robin's parents.
Yeah, he's still bad.
Who needs him?
I this was like an episode that anytime it would happen to come on, like Toonami or whatever, I would just be like, nah, it's okay, I won't watch this right now. Like it's really well written and good, but it's lacking in like awesome Batman stuff.
Heavy.
Like that's what I like the most about the show is when I can just sit.
It gets into some Daredevil territory, which we'll talk about later.
I guess okay. Episode 12. I've got Batman in my basement.
No, you don't. Moving on. We could talk about
what's a good thing?
Penguin episodes are usually so bad.
Is this the first Penguin episode? I guess it is.
I think it is an air date. These are all air date ones, right?
No, this is in production order, so I don't know if it's the first aired one.
Oh yeah, Cat in the Claw is the air date. We're almost there.
Yeah. I don't know. This is just it's not good. It's one of those that everyone considers bad, but I can't really tell you why. I think it just feels childish.
Because it's two random kids who take down the Penguin by themselves.
But Penguin
they have
isn't
detective
like a
club.
super powered.
They're not
douche.
Robin. They're not as cool as Robin.
They do throw the like bola things at him, and it just magically wraps him up. Like they don't have to have any talent to do that.
They're too skilled.
Yeah. All right, Cat in the Claw Part 1.
If they're that skilled, they better be Batgirl and Robin.
Yeah, they're the next sidekicks.
We got
should bring them into Legacies as teenagers or whatever.
Oh God,
what they've been doing?
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we should. I have to write that down.
Yeah, we should. Okay. Episode 13, Cat in the Claw Part 1. This is the series premiere air date wise. This is Red Claw is the good aspect of it. Catwoman's good too. It's a good version of Catwoman. It's not exactly the same as the movie, but she does have like the blonde hair and the I'm a catness.
She's she's alluring. Like this has one of the best like opening animation scenes of them like Batman chasing Catwoman over the rooftop.
Yeah, it's really fluid and it's I don't know. There's certain shots and like I want to do a video for the channel that's just like best like most cinematic shots in the DCAU or something, and some of these earlier episodes have those. I can't think of anything bad other than Red Claw's accent is kind of annoying. It's not very authentic.
Yeah.
But what country is she supposed to be from? An international
I was gonna say Russian because she's red. You know,
maybe I guess so.
Probably Russian.
I don't think they ever say though. I don't know.
Russians have bears up there.
14, Heart of Ice. One of the best episodes. Won an Emmy. Mr. Freeze origin redo.
Introduced his wife Nora for the first time and gave him a bit more of a sympathetic motive.
Those are all the good things. I think my bad thing is probably controversial. I don't like the chicken soup aspect of the episode.
Ooh. Yeah, that's funny because I don't like... Does he have polar bears at this point?
No.
Well, I don't like the animal cruelty when he brings them in.
That's so long from now.
Okay, I'll talk about that later.
He's an okay guy right
things.
now. I just don't like how... I mean, I get it, like, because Heat, and it was in Batman Sick and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's still a good, like... It's a well-written aspect of the episode. It just seems dumb that, like, that's how you defeated him, is soup, a thermos.
Yep.
Uma thermos. All right. See No Evil. That's the Invisible Man, which is, I like this episode a lot, if only because in my head canon, he uses this technology to help the Batman Beyond suit later, which I think worked
That could be
slightly,
cool. Yeah.
It's been in our Legacies notes since the start of working on the comic, but I don't know if we're literally going to put it in or if it's just kind of...
It's definitely the first time we've seen invisibility in this universe, and it's a very creepy story about this guy who puts on an invisibility cloak and ends up talking to his kid who has a restraining order against him, and he ends up kidnapping his daughter.
Some conversation came up recently on Twitter, I think, about how this episode is a lot better animated than the ones around it, air date wise.
Yeah,
and I think it was that like it was produced a lot later, but somehow aired earlier than expected, or something like that. I can't remember.
Well, it looks like it was it aired several months after the initial handful.
But like it was
looking
something
at
to
it.
where I don't know, whatever. But I was actually like, people were talking about on Twitter how well the animation is in this episode, how well it is.
I remember the final battle where it's raining, and
that part is really
how
good.
he's able to.
But there's some parts where like when he visits his daughter and he just like takes just the head part off and he's just talking to her, where it's really stiff and like not very on model and stuff. And I don't know, that stuff just bothers me. But that's my bad. The good, I like when Batman's chasing him, and there's just like a Joe Schmo eating a sandwich, and he's like watching Batman just yell at nothing, like, "Where are you?" or whatever. And he's just sitting there like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
This guy's crazy.
Cat in the Claw Part 2. Same.
Red
That's
Claw.
just that's for including that in the same. Two-Face Part 2. This is the worst half. It's not bad, but it's not as good as the first half. It's a lot
got
more
a
just cut
great
and dry, like Two-Face
soundtrack moment when
stuff.
he's on the motorcycle and he's Batman's riding through the rain, and it's like that's a great piece of music.
Is that in this
During that
episode? Two-Face?
I think it is. Yeah, Batman's. It's like one of the first time he's riding his bat.
I thought that was when he's trying to get to the place where Harvey is in the first half and he doesn't get there in time to stop him from becoming Two-Face.
That was a better episode with a better moment.
Yeah, see, that's why.
Sorry, Two-Face Part 2. Okay.
Beware the Gray Ghost. That's a good one.
Yeah,
It's
Adam West.
Yeah, and I again think the whatever animation company did this episode did not adhere to the style as well as they should have. But it's still it still looks really good, like in a different way. Like there's a lot of really darkly like fire lit shots and stuff that look really
It's
cool.
a classic. Great Ghost ended up adding a lot to this
Mm-hmm.
universe. I think he was a really interesting original character.
I don't know. I have a bad thing. Let's just move on. 19, Prophecy of Doom. Oh boy, this is the Nostromos one.
Yeah. I could think of a bad thing for Beware the Ghost.
Oh, you can?
Great Ghost. Bruce Timm was the villain.
bad guy? Yeah.
He was the bad guy. He did the voice of that.
And he's like
the
modeled
bomb.
after him. Yeah,
The
the
Mad
Mad
Bomber.
Bomber or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But Nostromos, Prophecy of Doom, I remember this being a cool episode. Like, he just looked really cool. He
does have a cool design.
purple-cloaked wizard.
But I think this is kind of falls into the same, like, it's just kind of a sloppy episode. I don't know. Like, it's... We haven't gotten to Joker's Wild yet, but it's the same kind of, like... It's just whatever animation company did this episode, they stopped using after a while because it kept giving them such bad results and stuff. It's got a good moment.
I'm not really thinking about that. I'm not so aware as much as you are as far as like the animation specifics.
There's some sort of scene. There's some scene where Batman kicks a guy in the face that's pretty cool in this episode. That's all I remember. Feet of Clay, Part 1. This is a good one as well.
This is one of my favorites. This is Part 2.
Yeah, this is also one of the earliest episodes I saw because they used to play Batman right when I was supposed to go to bed when I would visit my grandma during the summer, and she let me stay up half an hour later just to watch this episode. And it of course
then you couldn't go to
ends
sleep
with...
for 2 hours because you're so psyched about the episode.
Yeah. Well, as long as it's family-friendly programming. It's fine. Oh, there's but
how did it end?
so right before I go to bed, I have to watch a man get like clay shoved down his throat, and that was kind of what am I trying to say here?
You were traumatized.
Yeah, traumatizing. Yeah.
Oh no!
But it was
that's why
it was
you
like
do
a
this
cliffhanger
YouTube channel today. That's what drove you to it.
Yeah.
That was the moment.
It's a cliffhanger that
we found it.
The guy walks up to the car and says like, "Oh, is that you in there?" And he's just a blob of clay at this point. And then I had to go to bed and I didn't know what happened next. I don't think I watched the second half for years.
Ooh.
But
the second half is awesome. The end of that, when Batman and Clayface are in the monitor room, and he starts putting on all the different. Yeah, it is next, so we're talking about it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said earlier with On Other Wings, when you have animation about a character who can shapeshift, that is just a really cool thing to watch. I'm sure it was really fun for the animators too.
I've always been happy that for that character and like John Jones and Justice League and stuff that they actually hand animate his morphing stuff instead of just have it be like a computerized like we'll draw the start and the end and you fill in the blank kind of thing. Like It actually has
cool.
fluidity and it looks really cool. 22 Joker's Favor. This is Charlie Collins. Runs him off the road. Joker off the road, and he's like, "Oh, in a couple of years, you got to do me a favor." And okay, and then
there's a lot of that whole scene was really cool because the Joker, Mark Hamill, obviously does an amazing job, but he's got the like trench coat and like hat,
the Phantasm,
and that's
get
always,
up,
Yeah, and I've always loved when he does that because it makes him look so much scarier.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just a regular guy, but I'm creepy as fuck. Yeah. I think this episode...
I mean, not that he's a regular guy before, but, you know.
I think this episode is also the first Harley Quinn appearance, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. I think it was.
And
that's cool.
So that's the good part, I guess. Bad stuff, I don't know. It's harder to think of the bad things unless the episode is really poorly animated or stupid or something. But
we don't. That's why I said we didn't have to have.
It's too bad. Vendetta's first Killer Croc episode. He's got it against Harvey Bullock. He's gonna.
I remember this being a good one.
I really like Batman fighting him in the sewer at the end of the episode. It's scary. It's actually like, oh, is Batman like he's Killer Croc is legitimately terrifying looking in this first episode. The rest of it, he looks kind of goofy, and
they kind of make him look a little more docile.
Yeah,
but I mean, we'll get there.
And but I think the only bad thing for me is when, or at least it's just kind of an oversight or like a stupid part of it is just like. Killer Croc walks into the jail in a trench coat and is like doing a perfect Harvey Bullock impression, but he just looks, his hands are gray and he's dripping with water. He's like, yeah, I'm Harvey Bullock. And they're like, okay. And just let him in. Why would that fool anybody?
Right. It should have been I mean, Harvey's nasty.
Yeah,
there's that episode where his
Harvey, you're covered in water and your hands are scaly. Well, that's normal. You're greasy and filled with pus. Yep, that's Harvey Bullock. That's okay, go ahead.
We'll get there. There's definitely an episode. I forget which one it's called, but it's the one where like people are trying to kill him, but it's really just his landlord trying to get him evicted
Bullet for Bullock.
He's just a horrible tenant. Yeah, we'll get there.
I just wanted you to pay rent. Okay, Fear of Victory. This is Scarecrow again. This is the first time he has the normal BTAS Scarecrow look, and he's trying to poison the football team or something. He's
got that really sneaky disguise, like two kids in a trench coat sort of thing. You know, where he's wandering around. What's his name, Mr. Lucky or something?
What? I don't remember this at all.
What? That was a weird disguise. He definitely looked like two kids in a trench coat.
Okay, I believe you, but I don't.
Oh my god, maybe I watched a different version of the episode than you.
This is a different cartoon that you watched. No, I like. It's got the shot of. It was used in the Adventures of Batman and Robin intro of Robin like swinging and grabbing the vial of poison, toxic stuff. It made it into the Legacies issue that came out yesterday.
Yeah.
So I like that shot.
It was iconic. It was in the theme song for the new Batman Adventures.
What?
At some moment, it was in the theme song.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. The Clock King.
Video.
It's about the Clock King. I like this one. I wish there was more of Clock King in the DCAU. Like, he shows back up in Task Force X eventually, but
yeah.
I don't know. I like it.
It's great. He was a great villain. He very petty. Just wanted to discredit the mayor. But he was a very interesting character to come back a few times.
Yeah, like, he's like one of the ones that's just a dude, but he's just like actually insane instead of like
better than his comic book counterpart at the time, who literally had like a blue jumpsuit with clocks all over it, like polka dot clocks, and a green hood and a green cape.
He was like
a joke villain before
the
this.
Batman Brave and the Bold version. He has like a clock for a face, and he's like a king.
Yeah,
he's like a rope king.
Exactly.
Robe and stuff,
This is the first time he hasn't been
he's
like
just
that.
a dude. Yeah. Which I guess is.
Well, he's got like a clock, like little staff,
Yeah.
A cane, clock cane.
But he doesn't come up as often as like Mr. Freeze or anybody as like, oh, they really changed him for the better for this thing. He just goes back to being.
No, even though they kind of did. Yeah.
Yeah, the Clock King was on the Batman Superman website back in the day in like a new villains area where he was like, oh, villains that you've never seen before, even though it was 1992 and I was probably looking at that in like 2000. So they were all new. They're all the same.
You kept expecting it to like update and include more villains.
Yeah. They're like, oh, well, someday we'll come back and put more on this page.
Newer villains, maybe.
Yeah. Even new villains like Boss Nass.
or Black Mask. Ewan McGregor.
Never ended up in the show.
No, but he was
in the comic. Mad Hatter episode. I don't like it. You do. I don't know why.
Because the Mad Hatter's, he's got a funny gimmick. He takes over the park at the end. Batman's got to wander through the labyrinth of.
I don't like how it's just Batman punching his way through a bunch of people. He doesn't need to. He doesn't.
Yeah.
You don't need to go through the world training to learn how to punch a walrus in the face. I don't know.
Well, Mad Hatter's got that sort of like mental manipulation sort of thing. Like, he acts like he's your friend and tries to woo you over, and then he ends up just being super creepy and manipulative.
Yeah, he really pisses me off sometimes.
He's like, got a very punchable
you should come
face.
to Olive Garden with me, and then I'm like, what the hell?
Right? Olive Garden? You think I'm the kind of guy who go to Olive Garden? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Sorry. Can I say that?
Hey, man. Olive Garden's rather tasty. Dreams in Darkness. This is the one. This is Scarecrow. Again. What is this again?
Batman's in Arkham.
Oh, Batman's in Arkham Asylum. Yeah,
he's in like a straitjacket and convinced.
Yeah,
that,
and this is the one where people are like, oh, Jason Todd must be in the DCAU because he's like, oh, Joker, Batman. Oh my God, what the hell's the character? Robin. Robin, watch out! The Joker's got a bomb. Like, yeah, the Joker has bombs all the time. Like,
sometimes
it's not Jason
you just
Todd.
can't get rid of a bomb.
Yeah,
that never happened in this.
You even got your hands on your head right now.
Because sometimes you just can't get rid of a bomb. I'm stretching.
Sometimes you just, I don't know. I don't have a good Adam West impression.
This is also the episode to give us Jack Napier. The name of the Joker.
He calls him that like by name. Yeah,
Dr. Bartholomew does. That's right.
Oh, this episode is has one of my favorite animation sequences in it where Batman escapes Arkham Asylum and he like looks down and there's a rat on the ground and the rat turns into the Joker, and then the Joker like whoop into the tall super Joker, and then he like explodes into the Penguin just like into Two-Face. It's really disturbing, but it's really cool.
This is the best. I kind of figured the animators like love those. As we've said, like some of the best moments of the show has been
the
those
storyboard, like they're just staring at it.
Just
you
really
want me
cool
to what?
Transitions, like I'm drawing a rat into the Joker. I'm drawing Clayface into different things, and
in the first panel you have the Penguin, and then on the second panel, oh my God, my alarm's going off. Stop it. In the second panel you have Two-Face. Like, how am I supposed to get from A to B? Like, just make something up, and then it just explodes.
That's the sound effect that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta edit that over the top.
Wait, what was it? One more time. I forgot. What was?
No, it's not. That's it. It's just, this is more important now than editing Matthew Valencia crying over the top. Eternal Youth, Poison Ivy back. She's animated better in this episode. This is including Alfred's girlfriend that we never see again ever.
Maggie Page. Maggie. Yeah.
Is this the same name of the girlfriend that he had, or the wife or whatever he has in Batman and Robin?
Do you think this was Alfred? Oh yeah, I think so. Nice.
Anyway, they're both old lady names.
Good for Alfred for getting out there, trying to be young again.
Yeah, man, youthful eternally. I always thought that the little green cookies that he eats looked delicious. I always wanted to eat them.
I always like to have people turn into trees.
He's so happy.
Yeah, he does. But people growing into trees is such an iconic comic book sort of thing where it's a classic cover of the JLA where they're all turning into tree people. And,
was that Poison Ivy or was that someone else?
I think it might have been the Floronic Man.
Plant Master, yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure. It could have just been like a random witch
tree man
character. I don't know.
It was just just one of those days where they turn into trees.
Now I gotta know.
This has a really cool intro to the episode where it's like an Alfred Hitchcock movie almost, like a lady's running through. I think they've even talked about that they purposely did that.
The cover of that JLA comic, I'm sorry, it tells you who it does it on the cover. The Flash has a thought bubble and he's saying that glowing meteor turning us all into trees, and so they're all turning into trees around this glowing meteor rock. So
I wonder who the bad guy. Yeah,
it's the meteor rock. Could be kryptonite. Anyway,
classic 60s
had to
comics
share.
Or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. It's some lady running through the forest away from her mansion, no, and tripping over herself and stuff. And then Poison Ivy's just walking casually behind her, dimly lit and stuff. It's really creepy.
Probably because she's moving the rocks to make her trip. So she's taking her time. Yeah.
I put a rock there. I told my plant friends to put a rock there.
Exactly.
Perchance to dream. This is what you thought Dreams in Darkness is usually.
Well, I didn't say that on this recording. Not that we're doing a second
that's
round.
What I said usually. This is one of Kevin Conroy's favorite episodes. He says that every time someone asks him.
Yeah.
This is it's Batman dreaming he's in a world where he didn't become Batman.
It's a good one. It's one of my favorites.
Is it that he starts to figure out that it's a weird place?
He feels like stuff's missing. And just different cues make him kind of confused.
So the good stuff is that it's a really unique, cool episode. I think my bad thing is that I don't like. What was it that I didn't like?
Oh, that Kevin Conroy does the voice of Thomas Wayne.
Yes, that is that. How could you possibly have
I'm
predicted
a mind
that?
reader.
But whatever. I guess you're really smart.
The 12th level intellect. Today I'm at 13th level. So.
yeah, you sure are. I don't know. It's kind of weird that they that's Kevin Conroy. I get it because you sound like your dad. I guess probably people do, but I don't know. Cape and Cowl Conspiracy is the next episode. That's
it involved that cow that escaped from the milk farm. The
Cape and Cow Conspiracy. You're right.
Okay,
yeah.
Nope, that wasn't it.
The Cake and Cow. All right. So, some dude is like, "Hey, Batman, show me who you are," and he's like, "No," but then at the end, he's like, "Still no, LOL," because I have a mask on under my mask. The end.
Yeah.
This is the first Bat Signal appearance.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
He
I don't remember this one so well. I need to rewatch it. Wasn't it just this
he's
guy?
also voiced by the Toy Man guy, I think.
Really?
Same voice actor.
That's cool. Well, I don't have much to say about it. But it taught me the word cowl. I had no idea what a cowl was before watching this episode. It is his mask. It is Batman's mask, but it's got that little neck flap part.
Yeah. I like. I learned what photosynthesis is from SpongeBob. So
you learn everywhere.
I know.
Yep.
Next one's Robin's Reckoning. This is one of my favorite episodes. It also won an Emmy. Nice. I had the Robin VHS tape as a kid, so this was the 2 episodes on it were the 2 parts of this, and so I've seen this a million times, but it's still one of my favorites. Has the very good they couldn't get away with showing the Graysons dying, so they made up for it by just showing the rope like hanging there, and it's a lot more impactful.
Yeah.
What's a bad thing?
It's got that Arnold Stromwell comes back, Tony Zuko's uncle, and we're like, oh, you're the guy whose brother got hit by the train. Okay.
Yeah, that's what he says to him. Well, hey,
you're the guy with the
train boy.
Yeah, he grew up to be Train Boy instead of Robin. Hashtag Train Boy.
Batman and Train Boy. He should have adopted Tony Zuko.
His superpower is foaming at the mouth when he looks at model train sets.
He gives it away that he's Train Boy in real life.
We have a new Legacies character to introduce.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. People will love that.
We're not drinking in this episode. Nobody's drinking.
No. Another thing, another like food related thing with this episode, when little Dick Grayson goes out with the prostitute into like a diner, and they're just talking about Tony Zuko. Whatever the food that they're eating has always looked really tasty to me.
You're all about the food. You and your green cakes from Eternal Youth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is this show had good looking food?
You should pitch DC a cookbook for Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, that would be really cool, actually. Top 10 food in the DCAU. You
think I'm kidding? Let's
little scrumptious.
Let's get Matthew Manning on that. We'll all collaborate.
Yeah, that's for the like 50,000 subscribers. We'll do top 10 scrumptious food. All right. Anyway, the Laughing Fish is another good episode.
And another great menu item.
Yeah, I guess so. Do they eat them?
They can in our cookbook. This is how you make.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it has to be in the cookbook. Yeah. I don't like that the fish have human teeth. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. But what else would they do, I guess?
This is a classic.
This is the copyright office.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, give me a copyright to fish. And the dude's like, no. So he kills him. Mm-hmm. It's hilarious.
It's a good one. It's based off a classic comic book of the same name.
Yeah. I think it was written by the same guy that wrote that comic also. They tended to do that, get the same person. Night of the Ninja, episode 34. This is I like the flashbacks in this, but I am not a huge fan of the present day stuff. I really like seeing Bruce Wayne training and like, oh, there's a ninja guy that he's bad guy with, or it's his rival or whatever. But then
it was definitely a cool backstory and a moment of Bruce Wayne's past we hadn't seen before.
But like, I don't know, the present day stuff is like, oh, he kidnaps like Summer Gleason, and there's just a weird like, I think that's this one and not the sequel episode, but I don't know. They're the same episode in my head. I
don't know. I can't say either, to be honest. Yeah. We might get there later. But yeah, I do recall how this ends in like a showdown in the volcano. And that was
that's the
cool.
Second one.
Damn it!
That's where he comes back and does the like.
I'm the same way. I get them mixed up.
Wait, maybe it's not. I don't even know.
All right. Well, we're talking about them both.
If you scream loud enough while you're listening, stop going off alarm, Jesus. If you scream loud enough at us, we might hear it through the temporal speed force.
I hear it right now.
Yeah.
Cat scratch fever.
Cat scratch fever. I think this is the first Professor Milo.
Yeah, he made Doomsday. He
shows back up in
this
Cadmus,
thing.
Yeah.
He was also
Roland Daggett's back for the three-peat. He's doing bad stuff to cats.
We're not just summarizing off another summary right now either.
No, we're definitely
not at all.
No. I did notice. Yeah, we're reading off the World's Finest list.
Thank you, World's Finest
Online.
DCAnimated.com.
Yeah, DCAnimated.com. A little audio watermark throughout this episode.
Good.
DCAnimated.com. the previous the Night of the Ninja, it says like Bruce, or the only man who could beat Bruce Wayne when they studied martial arts together as boys in Japan. Like, were they really boys? Like,
they're still boys, yes. If
they're
they
like 19,
want
20,
to be
something.
Yeah. If they identify as boys, they're
Okay. all right.
Forever.
Good point.
Boys
All
will
right.
be boys after all.
Yeah, they sure will. Episode 36 is The Strange Secret of Bruce Wayne. This is the one you were thinking of where Robin dresses up as Bruce Wayne.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic. And it makes sense in this because it's all about his identity being sold off to the villains.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Hugo Strange. This is one and only BTAS appearance.
Yeah, even he got his own logo in the
we were looking at some of that.
press materials. Yeah.
He does appear in JLU for an episode, but
for
later
one episode, he doesn't say
he got replaced with Dr. Moon?
Yeah, that was
I
like
always
one
forget it's
episode
him or the crime doctor.
Like one episode pre-Bat embargo or something.
Yeah,
so they couldn't use him anymore. Yeah,
but here he is in this episode. It's cool.
This is a good one. This got the line where Joker said, or Two-Face is like, "Get out of my face, clown!" And, Which one? It's good.
It's him, Two-Face, Penguin. They're all out in like this desert area to buy Batman's identity.
I like when Hugo Strange is like, I have the identity of Batman right here in my hand on this VHS tape that clearly says Bruce Wayne on the side of it. And they're like, oh yeah, I'll pay you $1 million for that. Like, just look at it.
You could just look at it.
Interesting, or strangely, I should say, this episode chronologically takes place most likely near the end of the series, but it's because of comic book appearances of Hugo Strange. But it's like pretty early on in the show. That's just a thing I thought to say. Robin's Reckoning Part 2. We don't need to talk about that. It's good. Heart of Steel.
This is a great one. I love all the Blade Runner references.
Yeah,
that's really fun.
Yeah,
it's all about like artificial intelligence. It's a robot disguised as people. It's really freaky.
Blade Runner kind of thing. It's Carl Rossum is even voiced by the guy who played one of the characters in Blade Runner, the movie.
Basically replicants, but there's like a tower. It's kind of like Brother Eye as well from OMAC from the comics. So it's like this weird.
It even has an act at the end.
Yeah. It's really, and that's honestly kind of happened before Brother Eye and OMAC were like.
I was gonna say, was that a thing yet?
Not really. Yeah. So it's that's kind of cool. Great episode. It's part 1. Part 2 is awesome too. It's got like the hard actor version of Batman. So it's just like Cyborg Superman, where he's like a cybernetic copy of the superhero, but half his face is torn off, and that's a really cool look.
Yeah, no, I don't think I have any really complaints about this one.
It wasn't long enough. It was 2 parts.
Yeah, well, there's 2 parts, but it needed like 3.
It did get a follow-up, his Silicon Soul.
This isn't the one with the Batmite robot. That's later, right? When he comes back.
Yeah, that's actually in Deep Freeze. That's when Carl
Yeah, okay.
So, but yeah.
39, If You're So Smart, Why Aren't You Rich? This is the first Riddler episode. I really like the Riddler. I wish he had more episodes in this series.
They did not do him well in the revamp.
Yeah. Well, he barely got anything there.
Yeah.
John Glover, I think is his name. He also plays Jason Woodrue in Batman and Robin.
And Lionel
I'm afraid
Luthor.
You'll have to die.
Lionel Luthor in Smallville.
Oh yeah, you're
that's
right.
More.
Yep.
That's
Yep. He's been around town.
He's a great Riddler. He was actually really creepy.
I've seen Riddler's Reform way more times than I've seen his initial episode.
And I've
so it's
seen
weird
the other
to me
one.
that the first Riddler episode is the Minotaur one. Like that seems so out of place. Like that seems like a later Riddler episode.
I saw the virtual reality one where he does that. That was the one I saw the most at first.
Yeah. But no, I like it. I can't think of anything bad. Joker's Wild. This is a bad episode. I don't know. It's not. I think this is the last one that they used that animation company for that I was talking about. So they just stopped. Like, nope, this is really bad.
The Joker is kind of like fundamentally like Daffy Duck in my mind. Like he could never get any respect.
Yeah, and he's just really angry.
Yeah. So he kind of goes like that in this episode.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's got a good opening to it when they're in Arkham and they're watching TV and he's like, "What? He's ruining my reputation," or whatever. He's like doing he's really mad, and then he does the like weird little poem to Poison Ivy as he's faking being sick.
That was weird to see all the villains just hanging out at Arkham.
Yeah, they're just allowed to interact and not murder each other.
It's the TV room. We'll be fine. We'll watch Batman on the news together. And we'll sing campfire songs.
Yeah. What do they expect to happen? All right, Tiger. This is a good one.
I named my cat after this episode.
Or poem at the end of it.
Exactly. Tiger, burning bright.
Yeah.
My cat's named Blake after William Blake.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I got it from that poem.
I'm happy for you.
And coincidentally, Catman, who kind of makes an appearance in the new Batman Adventures, Thomas Blake. He's the leader of a cat cult.
There's 2 different Thomas Blakes in the DCAU.
And he is named after the William Blake of that poem.
Yeah.
For the same cat reasons.
Is this the episode where Catwoman is a cat woman?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
She's transformed.
So this is the first splicing besides Man-Bat, I guess.
Yeah. Emil Dorian is this doctor who ends up creating a talking gorilla. This
Tigress,
Tigress, a Catman creature, turns Selena Kyle into a cat. Yeah. There's not episodes, but issues of the Batman Beyond comic books that definitely link Emil Dorian with the splicer.
He's also he was like partners with Kirk Langstrom at some point or something. Yeah,
they kind of tie it all together. It's pretty cool. There's a bit of a history.
This episode was shown in that Honest there's this Honest Trailers show on the
They didn't like it.
channel.
You're right. They didn't like it.
Yeah, they kept showing this saying and the bad stuff, and I was like, what was wrong with this episode?
It's one of the better ones. I don't know if it's one of the better ones.
I don't know.
I liked it.
Yes, and then following it up is Moon of the Wolf, which is another monster episode. Yeah, this is a little more kitschy, a little more predictable.
It was adapted from a comic book too. It's Anthony Romulus.
Another written by the same guy, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. It's a cool design. The werewolf looks cool.
It's cool, yeah. His character design's really cool. We've had his character design sitting in the Legacies character design folder for ages because we want to use him in something. But he's also, I don't know, it's more, it's just kind of like a punch a werewolf by comparison to the previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. Heart of Steel Part 2 is the same episode. We already taled about it.
Yeah.
Terror in the Sky.
Well, we skipped Day of Samurai, but yeah, you're right. That was the Death Touch one with the volcano. Okay. So we don't know what happened in the original one.
No.
Whatever. Okay.
Oh my God. This alarm
Terror in the Sky. Terror in the Sky.
Yeah, Terror in the Sky is the man. His wife turns into a woman bat, a she bat, and that's the episode.
It's a good one.
I think most of the episode is just going like, "Who's Man Bat now?" And it's his wife. Spoilers.
Oh,
spoilers for this whole series. Really, we were just talking about it.
Well, now you tell them when we're almost wrapped.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb that I mean, it makes sense, like, that, I guess, because she's a woman, that the shirt would stay on when she's Man-Bat, but, like, there's no, like, Man-Bat.
Woman-Bat.
I guess because it's
She-Bat.
a woman, but I don't know. Whatever.
They bat. Honestly, they bat.
Almost got him is next, which is one of the best episodes, only because of I threw a rock at him.
Yeah. I wanted to bring that up when we were talking about Poison Ivy moving the rocks earlier. I threw a rock at him.
I put a rock on the ground.
This one's so much fun because it's a bunch of little vignettes and shorts about each villain.
You see how they get the giant penny.
Mm-hmm.
I like that Poison Ivy's in like a black, like specifically Halloween kind of outfit.
Yeah, it's cool little Halloween.
It took me a long time to watch this episode, and I had just seen screenshots of her in that outfit and thought that they like accidentally colored her that way for a long time.
Yeah,
but no. And that when all the like I threw a rock at him stuff, when it turns out to be Batman, it's just he's been saying that stuff. he's just
Croc's
been
an idiot. I could be an idiot. Yeah, he's a master of disguise. We've said that before.
Yeah, It's also got there's a channel, Brizzy Voices. She does like a bunch of voice impressions of female characters. She did
some
our
stuff for our
Batgirl
Legacies.
voice in the Legacies promo. She did
For the Asylum issue.
She did a female like superhero characters video or something a while ago, and she does Catwoman from this episode. At the end of the episode, they're like on a rooftop, and she's being all sultry with him and touching his chest and stuff. And she's like, maybe there's a world out, like there's room for us out there without all the crime and all the blah blah blah, and without masks. And she says like masks like really weird, and Brizzy pointed that out in her video of like,
nice.
Watch it again. She says masks. She like definitely does. It's really bizarre.
That's great.
All right, Birds of a Feather. We got 3 episodes left before we're going to stop talking about these, or 4, I guess, for today. Birds of a Feather. What the hell is this?
The Penguin and Veronica Vreeland, and it's very much.
I block out all the Penguin episodes.
I know because they're not usually
great.
good, but this one's a better one, and he's definitely like trying to win over the rich girl, and she's just not into it. But like Vreeland's kind of cool because she and Bruce Wayne have all this history, and we see her daughter is kidnapped at the beginning of Batman Beyond in episode 1 of Rebirth. It's like Batman, the night he retires, Batman is rescuing Veronica's daughter.
Her daughter. Yeah.
It's a shared universe.
Is this her? Yeah, it's an animated universe. I don't know if you knew that. Is this her first appearance? Nah, maybe not. You've probably seen her at a party or something.
I forget. It could be.
I guess it must have something bad in it because I don't remember it very well. I know there's a scene because doesn't she bring Penguin to the party to be like, haha, everybody look at the Penguin, he's stupid, and he doesn't think it's supposed to be that. Because like that, I always picture in my head that he then bites the dude's nose off, but that's Batman Returns.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So,
but it's a really similar. It's a really similar plot line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is reality?
The Riddler. This is my favorite Riddler one.
That's just a question I wanted to ask you.
Yeah. Oh. It's what is reality?
What is reality?
No. What is reality?
What is my movie I've been working on for like 5 years?
That's an answer to a Jeopardy question. We don't know the question.
It's
a good episode. There's a lot of awesome.
This is the computer game one, right?
Yeah. And it's like cool because it could do. I'm sure the animators had a lot of fun with it because it had so many different scenarios and like objects to animate and stuff that would transition and move around.
Yeah, it's
transform.
He's just stuck in the game at the end of the episode, but you never know how he gets out.
Batman creates a really cool knight armor for himself.
Like
once he starts to realize that he can control the environment of the game too. Yeah. It's a good one.
So you would say that Batman is the knight in this episode?
He says it himself. I don't have to say it for him.
Well, in the next episode, I am the knight. So it's a smooth transition there.
Sure.
But this is where Gordon gets shot. I think I liked.
Yeah, the jazz
the
man
scene with Batman in the hospital room with him. Like, oh my God, what have I done?
My old friend is gonna die.
Yeah, and the whole scene of him being emotional in the Batcave, like, I do all this shit and nothing stays, nothing works, and he's just screaming and stuff.
49 episodes later, and I'm still here.
Yeah.
Because for stopping at number 50.
I try.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I don't particularly like the jazz man bad guy. Like, he's kind of dorky looking, and he doesn't really serve a purpose. He's just kind of there.
Just a classic, like, Tommy gun wielding,
Yeah, he's just a dude, I guess. But
Great Depression era gangster.
Because the episode's just about Batman being Batman.
He calls him the jazz man though, because doesn't he pull his gun out of a violin case or something, or maybe it's a saxophone case. He better. If not,
maybe we're just imagining that.
That would have been a better thing to do if they didn't do that in the episode.
If he didn't, yeah.
Hopefully they did.
We should have written that episode when we were 1 year old.
If they had done that, good for them. That's a good idea.
Nice job.
Yeah.
Okay, final one we're going to talk about today is Off Balance.
Nice.
This is what's his face?
Count Vertigo. Yeah. He's in the Suicide Squad a little bit, but not in the DCAU.
Yeah. It's the first introduction of Talia, and we see Ra's al Ghul at the end.
You see his silhouette.
Yeah. Oh no, you see his face.
You see his face. I don't know,
but that's it.
But you see Talia,
I
and
know
you see
that.
half of
He's
Talia's
just-
face for the most part because of her hair,
Yeah.
her sexy hair.
That's
Her sexy
true.
hair just
She's like the
goes
other
over one
Two-Face.
side of it.
She's
Yeah.
like hair face.
Yeah, hair face. But then
Hair face and
but then
Mason.
you can see her face sometimes. So, but you gotta get close. And Batman
Skin
wants to
face.
get close. Batman
Yeah.
wants to.
She actually just has like a horrific deformity under it.
I mean, they're beloved.
Never see
You
that.
know, this is true love.
Yeah,
It's true love that Batman loves her despite her deformity.
True love is.
It's not a
blind to
deformity.
hair
It's a
face.
birthmark. It's a birthmark. A
So this
beauty mark. A
episode-
beauty mark.
I like it. I don't know. There's a Statue of Liberty in this episode, I think, that they fight on that I'll never understand. Like, is that supposed to be the Statue of Liberty? Is there a separate second Statue of Liberty in Gotham City? Is it just a statue that kind of looks like it? I don't know.
I don't know either.
These are the questions, Ted.
Yeah. Is this
all right,
America?
that's all we're talking about today for this show. For Batman.
That was a good 50 episodes. We'll do
That's the first 50 episode. Yeah, we'll do another
round.
chunk at
Yeah,
some
we
point.
it'll probably finish
There's a lot of
off.
episodes.
It'll probably finish off Batman next time, and then
Yeah.
maybe if you liked this random incoherent walk through the episodes, we'll do another show. We could do another one.
Maybe
We'll
we could
see.
do more shows like this. Do we want to talk about the Legacies issue, or do we want to do comic relief first?
Yeah, I don't know how long we've been doing this, but let's talk about Legacies. Scarecrow.
Okay. Yeah, if you haven't read it, you should go to legacesdcau.com and read the comic. It's only 6 pages. We do
wrote
12-page issues normally, but sometimes we'll do these specials that are 6 pages. This took a long time to make another Legacies issue happen because the previous Legacies issue came out before we started doing our Sunday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday video schedule. And we're going to have to kind of rethink like the best way to do both of these things so that we can actually put out Legacies issues.
We have a lot of Legacies ideas, and it's always a matter of what goes to the cutting room floor, what's more important, which
Yeah.
one do we want to tell right
my
now.
God.
And that's great. I like playing it loose. You know, we kind of just reevaluate what story are we going to do next and focus on. And still, I mean, it's always a continued work in progress, but we enjoy making them, and I hope you enjoy reading them, and we'll keep doing those things.
They're gonna keep coming
Yeah.
until we're done, regardless. So just keep an eye out. The this issue was in the bank of ideas for a long time, and we just thought like, hey, let's do it because it'll be quick and easy, and it's
this
Halloween.
I think it's the first one we put out that you came to me with the idea instead of me pitching you an idea. I think this was when you were
I'm
like,
glad
hey,
that you remember that because at this point it's all mud.
because I remember you being like, we should tell this story about like Scarecrow becoming like the, you know, from the Batman Adventures to the new animation style, and it was your idea to bring in Hades and have that bit.
Yeah, well, I think
I
I was originally thinking of doing like Nero because that was a big like 90s
Yeah.
JLA thing, but
He was
then
basically the same
we've
character.
Seen Hades, before, and it's fine. It makes sense.
and Hades
this
has
is
some more
another-
interesting things going on for him, I think, in the DCAU.
and we're gonna keep doing Hades stuff in a little bit.
You
but
also,
This is an issue, an example of an issue where we came up with the idea, and then a more officially canonical story told a different version of the story.
the
and we
Batman
had to
Teenage
just go,
Mutant
like,
Ninja Turtles
Yeah.
Adventures
they
by
did,
our
like,
friend Matthew Manning.
He just made a new costume.
He
The end.
had like visions from the Krang, like the Teenage
Yeah.
Mutant Ninja Turtles aliens that made him sketch the new suit.
Yeah.
So that's
Which
really,
I guess
yeah.
is cool, but I personally think our version is cooler. Sorry, Matthew Manning. You're not you don't listen to this, but
Never know, he might. but
yeah.
I think we had this idea before reading that, and I did have a line that was going to reference that comic. I forget exactly what it was, but we took it out just to not even.
Well, I think it was we were just after that the first couple issues came out, like we kind of decided like, hey, if nothing like contradicts stuff that we want to do, or it contradicts the DCAU, like it stays pretty canon to whatever, like, let's treat this like it actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so later, I think we were just going to have a throwaway line where Batman says, like, something really freaking weird happens, and Batman's like, oh, this is nothing. I fought alongside anthropomorphic turtles once or something like that.
There we
and
go.
And they're like, what?
I'm always down to name drop as much as we can. I'd rather, I mean, definitely, yeah, we keep it loose in terms of canon.
Yeah, well,
more
we had
or less, but not really at the same time.
We talked a while ago about, like, we're treating everything up through the end of JLU as definite canon.
Mm-hmm.
And then anything after that, like, we're kind of picking and choosing, like, because a lot of the stuff, like, we'll come up with the super broad story ideas for the whole comic. And then, like, Batman Beyond 2.0 will be like, LOL, it actually this happened. And we'll be like, but we still want to do the thing that we wanted to do.
Yeah. And I'm not necessarily, I'm trying to approach things in a way that might leave it open for you to squeeze that into. Not necessarily trying to be like, shut it down, say it didn't happen.
Right.
I'm not trying to do that and specifically say, like, so maybe we have a version of Scarecrow here who did see the Krang and have this vision of the suit, and it just so happens he ended up attacking this underdweller guy and taking his clothes, and it happens to look like the thing I drew. Oh wow, okay, wow, I didn't know I would do that.
You're wearing the clothes that I drew on a piece of paper. Yeah,
I remember
the Krang gave him a vision. Yeah.
Well, we have to talk about Mark Daniel Martinez, our artist of this issue, and I mean, he did an amazing job. He did all the pencils for this issue.
Yeah, he's done a handful of coloring and backgrounds and a couple other things for previous issues, but he's never been like the artist for the stuff. And he did the cover and the whole issue for this one, and I really have to thank him for doing that because it definitely helped us out to not have to find someone else. And he does really good stuff. His DeviantArt, I found his DeviantArt a long time ago before I even started talking to him. Where he does like DCAU style versions of, like, there's a Xenomorph, there's like a Captain Picard, there's all sorts of cool stuff. And
he's talented.
Then I think I contacted him from that, like, hey, do you want to draw a cover or something for the comic? And then we've just been talking to him and using his capable skills ever since.
But this is a great comic. This might have been one of his first sequential comic project. I don't know, but he did a great job. I wrote the script and I lettered the issue, which is kind of fun to do both. It gives me almost kind of the final say of all the words that are on there. But we had a really collaborative effort, I think, writing this one. Like, you gave me the idea to write it as an Edgar Allan Poe poem, and that was a really interesting challenge to do all the rhyming and everything for this issue.
Well, it works really well for Halloween also, just being a, like, creepy. Weird thing. I think when we were writing this, we had the idea that it's a crow that brings him the rope. I mean, half because of, like, the raven or whatever, but also half because I think we originally
Scarecrow
thought in the JLU episode where he's being, like, attacked by birds, like Felix Faust has nailed him to a rock or something like that. He threw a rock at him, and then birds are attacking. But it's vultures that are attacking him, I think, not crows.
Probably.
But we're just like, whatever, keep it a crow.
I mean, it's Scarecrow. It's a creepy bird. It's a crow because a bunch of crows together are a murder of crows.
Congratulations on that dank joke.
I said that. Moving on. What else can we say about this issue?
I do really like Mark's art, like, attention to the Batman the Animated Series kind of feel. Like, it's very dark. There's a lot of black. Kind of leaves open to your imagination the way they drew the city. I should take cues from that.
Also, his cell. His cell was, very minimal, but you could still tell, like, okay, you didn't need much.
Yeah.
The window reflection.
I can't bring up the question. We'll have to save questions for the next time because we're running a little long anyway. We should maybe save comic relief even.
Yeah, we could do a short one.
Okay. I don't have much else to say about the issue. I really like the way it turned out. It's pretty unique because it's kind of one of the first ones that kind of just strays away from our, like, normal kind of linear story. It's just a tale of the DCAU, like, just a random thing.
Well, definitely, the Scarecrow is coming back. He's already in another script that I've written.
Yeah.
And so is Hades.
Yeah.
So they will both be characters that are returning. But this is
we
definitely kind
have
of a one
given
and done.
We have given ourselves there's a lot of issues that we're going to do, but we have given ourselves like a limit still to where anything that we do is purposeful. Like it's not just going to be a one time, why see this character? Oh, because they're going to come back and do this thing kind of a thing. So
in a way, this is kind of supplementary material
Yeah.
for other moments later, but
Yeah.
it's still a fun just
and
look
I
back
guess
into
I
a
should
moment.
mention if we're discussing the whole, is this really how Scarecrow became other Scarecrow or whatever, that Maddie recently happened upon, like there's a Batman Adventures Volume 2 comic where we see the Scarecrow in Arkham, and he's always in shadow, and he's got the same like bald head with a couple like Rugrats hairs, the way we see him in our Legacies issue when he comes out of the grave. And like there's no explanation for why he looks like that, other than he's just creepier now. But then I guess the writer of that issue or something was saying how they intended to reveal that like why he looks like that and why he wears like a creepier mask and stuff is that he like was in like a weird chemical accident while he was trying to create like a better fear toxin or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
So I guess canonically that's not like our version isn't the reason why, but since there was never an on-screen explanation or any other explanation ever really, it's still like fair game to do it.
Fun issue.
Yeah. And Maddie does like to bring up, does bother me a little bit. There's an issue of Gotham Adventures, which is set during the new Batman Adventures, where we see Jonathan Crane in Arkham Asylum, and he looks like he does in Batman the Animated Series, like the normal him. But it's one panel, and he's like kind of far away in the background. And it's almost like it's like just one of those lack of communication things between the creators, because if they knew they were going to make him this weird, like, chemical accident monster by, a year or two after that in DCAU time, why did they just forgot, I guess, that they did that? I don't know.
Well, it happens,
Yeah.
and I had no idea of either of those things when I wrote this script.
Yeah, I don't
But
think
that's
we knew
why
about it.
I rely on you and Maddie, and I definitely try to implement as much as of that sort of stuff into these as possible.
Yeah, because we treat all that as canon for the most part anyway. So, but yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. I really like Mark's artwork. It's a good issue. I look forward to bringing these characters back and doing more with them and showing. I'm glad that we put this issue out in a time where the channel has grown a lot since the last issue that we put out, and so the base of the audience for the comic is a lot larger than it used to be, which is nice. Which is the whole point of the channel in the first place.
A lot more reception about it. Which we have a couple of questions, right? People have asked questions.
Yeah, but
about
my phone died in the middle of us recording. So
is there a way I can find them? Can I bring up a few?
There's a couple tweets. I can just bring them up next time or something. I don't know. It's hard.
I mean, I can look it up.
Okay.
I'm looking it up.
Actually, if you give me like 10 seconds, I can plug my phone in this room instead.
Okay, do that. You go ahead.
Oh, cat, get out of here. Go, cat, go. Were you counting the 10 seconds?
Nope.
Oh, okay, good, because that was more. Okay, yeah, I can get to them. Let's see.
It'd be good to do them. We should do them now.
Yeah, it relates to this. Okay. It's actually, I think it's just one guy. It's Jamie Robinson. He's messaged in a few times. He says, I love it. Scarecrow redesign origin. Only question is, how did Hades get out of Tartarus if this was before Faust freed him? And I responded.
I thought that too. Yeah, I was thinking about that after.
I had responded, our thought was that Hades isn't physically there, but he's on the same spiritual plane as Jonathan Crane, able to commune with the dead regardless of his physical location. which I think is a good explanation for that.
And the reason why they don't have, well, okay, Hades has tails to his word balloons during that sequence, but the Scarecrow doesn't have any, which is a way to kind of suggest maybe he's like in this astral plane, disembodied sort of
which
state.
also was my idea, I might add.
I went with it because I was like, great, less I have to do with my letter. So
sometimes we accidents happen.
I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna fight that one. Yeah.
And then Jamie also says one more question, if you'll pardon. Okay, I didn't answer this one, so this is one I told him we would add or answer on the podcast. He says, if you'll pardon me being a devil's advocate, pun intended, at the end of Never Fear, which is the Scarecrow New Batman Adventures episode, Scarecrow seems afraid to die and even says, "You'll get us killed," to Batman. If he's a zombie, as this basically says, why is that? Is he bluffing?
Zombies die.
To be honest, that's probably an oversight on our part.
I didn't admit that.
Yeah, I think that you could say if the
True,
zombie
though.
thing is intact, that like Mark actually came on and responded and said, you can still die as a zombie, it's just way harder.
Exactly, you gotta go for the brains.
Yeah, I think I mean, maybe he doesn't want to reveal that he's a zombie, like that he's back from the dead.
I wouldn't either. It's like when I'm not speaking from personal experience or anything, but well, never mind. I just don't want to. I don't even want to go there.
When I come back,
but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You don't.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of just like he's obviously he's alive or whatever, but we do kind of hint at the end of this. He says the professor has now been long deceased, leaving only the Scarecrow. And I think that we're talking about kind of potentially showing actual Jonathan Crane's like soul in the future of the comic. So he's basically separated from the Scarecrow at this point.
He definitely no longer has a soul. So this is like a shell of just a ghostly like terror that's haunting Gotham.
It's like in Supernatural, when someone doesn't have a soul, they're just like a weird husk of themselves, and they just can only do like pointless or like blindly. I can't even describe it. They just do stuff without really like having a emotional investment.
Yeah,
in it.
Exactly.
So anyway,
that's where we're coming.
There's a couple other questions, but do we want to read them today, or do we want to talk about Doomsday Clock, or what do we want to do?
I got a few more minutes. I guess we should save Doomsday Clock again.
Yeah, that's
by the time we do the next one, we could talk about both episodes at once, or both issues. Yeah, I guess we can speak. We could do like a quick comic relief. We can talk about Doomsday Clock if you want to.
I liked it.
Okay, let's talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're if you haven't read Doomsday Clock number 7, which you probably have by now because everybody else but me had already read it, then don't listen to this. But Dr. Manhattan finally fucking shows up, and he's just as naked as you expect or want him to be. And but
the issue came out around the same time as Batman Damned, so the penis attention was on other pages.
Yeah. Might as well throw it in. He's just been, I guess he's not hiding in the lamp, but the green
he's not hiding
green
anything
is like a way to get to him. I think.
Yeah. Well, the Green Lantern, I'm not sure exactly how that ties into Dr. Manhattan yet. Like, we know that Dr. Manhattan appeared as a moth back in the early 40s or late 30s, whenever that was, and he derailed that train that Alan Scott was on. Where
that was pretty cool. That was the coolest little aspect of it, is that he's fucking with time. Like he just pushed the lantern like 10 inches out of Alan Scott's reach, and that ended up like causing him to never be the Green Lantern. He died in that accident. The Justice Society didn't live on much longer than like a little bit. Yeah, I liked that kind of insinuates that he's done other stuff, and that like we don't know about yet or whatever. Because like from the beginning of the comic, Batman has like a completely different symbol and costume than he does in the current Rebirth line, and they've said like, Doomsday Clock takes place a little bit later than the stories we're currently telling, and he'll catch up to that costume. But they just changed his costume like 5 months ago or something. So like, why would they change it so quickly again?
It's close to the one that Jeff Johns and Gary Frank did for Batman Earth 1. Yeah. So it might be
It just makes me think that Dr. Manhattan also did something that Butterfly Effect changed Batman's costume. So he's just been doing a bunch of different... Because he killed Jonathan and Martha Kent, supposedly. And he's just been doing weird stuff that will have repercussions or whatever, so...
He's kind of their, like, just excuse for whatever continuity stuff they want to change. Which
he's their Days of Future
It makes
Past,
sense, because Jeff Johns is the same guy who wrote Infinite Crisis. That's what they did for Superboy Prime. Yeah. He just punched the wall a few times and changed the universe. Yeah.
That one guy, there's some commenter on, like, all of our videos that'll be like, you know why that weird thing happened that you don't like? Because Superboy punched the multiverse. Just messed everything up for everybody.
It's true. I love the moments in the issue where Dr. Manhattan transitions to like a different area. How the panel kind of has that like really interesting spacing.
It's like a Venetian blind kind of effect.
Yeah, it's cool.
The Joker fight with the comedian Batman and stuff, that was pretty good. Batman just standing back up and then he's like pointing at it like, this is a problem kind of a thing. That was pretty cool.
Isn't there like a moment where the knife goes through Batman's like mouth and like...
It's the wire, like piano wire that Marionette has.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
Very rough fight.
Yeah, there's a lot of good moments. I know you were like really excited to talk about this issue. Was it because of the Dr. Manhattan appearance?
Yeah, he came back, and now that's all kind of starting to, the motivations are being explained and starting to figure out exactly like the extent of his tampering with the DC universe. And
when I moved, I purposely kept Watchmen out of my collection so I could read it again. I still have not done that. I want to do that and then just read this whole comic. Like when it's done, like I'll keep reading it as it comes out, and when it's done, I want to just read Watchmen and then read all of this in a row.
Nice. That'll be good.
I think it'll be more effective.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So it ends, spoilers, with Dr. Manhattan explaining how he's seen a month into the future and it just goes dark.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know. He's expecting a conflict with Superman. The last thing he sees is Superman's fist coming in contact with his face. And so it's like, does Superman kill Dr. Manhattan? Or is Dr. Manhattan responsible for killing the entire universe?
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we don't know. And it was in a classic kind of comic book fashion where it's like, we won't know. Come back a month later. Yeah. And it's like, well, a month later, that's his vision.
It's an exciting conclusion.
It's a month later. But then, like, on the actual schedule of the issue, it's 2 months later because it's a bi-weekly or bi-monthly book.
Well, I'm sure that'll be the final issue or semi-final issue or something anyway. So
no, they have 12. It's 12 issues.
I know. I just mean, like, I don't think in issue 8 we'll find out about who's punching who and whatever.
I think we're gonna see that punch. I really do. Right. I expect to see he and Superman get into a fight next issue, and that punch is gonna happen. And that's not going to be the end of the series, obviously. There's going to be, the next issue is number 8, so there's 4 more after that. So
I do like that Superman's been kind of a calm background character in this. Like, he's not really been involved
until you learn that
so,
Manhattan killed his parents, which we saw in the first issue.
Yeah,
was him getting ready for prom.
Dr. Manhattan.
Which I looked back through the first issue just because I was curious if there would be like a little blue moth in those panels with his parents, and there wasn't. There was no little blue anything. There was like a moment where Clark's face was kind of like, or no, it was Pa Kent had like a blue light sort of against his face right before he died, but that was really the only blue.
I did like that Dr. Manhattan still speaks in his classic, like, I'm in this place, it's this year, I'm doing this kind of way of speaking. He does that in the original thing, and
yeah. I am 6 years old. My whatever has done this. Yeah.
So and so has cancer. I'm at the hospital.
Which is Damon Lindelof, the writer who's doing the HBO Watchmen series, pinned a really cool letter that he posted on Instagram not too long ago that was written the same way.
Oh.
And
I remember that. Yeah, okay.
You read it? Yeah. It was kind of like a letter to fans being like, trust me.
Yeah, it's going to be
this.
good. Yeah.
We're going to make a cool show. because I'm writing a letter like Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah. Like I know what I'm doing. Yeah. This won't be Lost.
Right.
Although Lost is good, I maintain.
It's got a special place in our hearts for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the Doomsday Clock number 7.
Yeah, more to come.
Yeah.
I was gonna talk just really quickly. I'll do 2 quick comic reliefs of what I read this week. I read Batman number 57. That just it's the most recent Rebirth issue. Maybe not anymore by the time of the podcast, but it picks up from Nightwing, Dick Grayson getting shot in the head, but he didn't get killed. It just grazed him, but enough to make him go into a coma, forget his name, forget some of his skills. So now he calls himself Rick Grayson.
Yeah, Rick
instead
Grayson,
of Dick. DC's got a Dick problem right now, but they're figuring it out.
It's like a... Well, what's your name, sir? P. Tier...
I think it rhymes
Griffin.
with...
Peter Griffin. Oh, damn it.
There you go. But so this comic has nothing to do with that. All that stuff's going down the pages of Nightwing and Titans and whatnot. But this book was all about Batman hunting down the guy who shot Nightwing, who was the KG Beast. And so he finds the KG Beast.
Is it Jim
cabin.
Chill?
It's not.
Is it?
No, it's
Jeff Chill.
I already told you it's the KG Beast. But he finds him in the cabin in the snow, and Batman and KG Beast just have a really epic battle with and that's like all the issue is. It's just the fight between the two of them, just grunts, barely any talking. But it's interspersed with all of these pages from like a kid's book about a weird rabbit, a wolf, a fox, and a squirrel that go on a journey to St. Petersburg together. And it's all written like the style of Winnie the Pooh or something weird like that. And yeah, and so all these animals find themselves in the bottom of this hole, and they have to like manipulate each other into who eats which animal first. And it gets pretty dark and fucked up. But it's like a weird children's story. Well, apparently it was a story that both Bruce Wayne and the KGBs both heard read to them as children. And so this is like a weird story that we're
Bruce
reading.
Wayne and his Russian upbringing.
Yeah, and they're battling in the snow. So it was a cool issue, really strange. Yeah. I don't know. It was a good read, good fight scene. Tony Daniel drew the whole thing, and he's an amazing, talented artist. He did Batman R.I.P. He did some of the Titan stuff for Jeff Johns.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
so I read that.
I look forward to catching up to those stories in paperback variety.
Yeah, you will, I'm sure.
And not having to try to keep up issue by issue as I know
on
I'm
the
very behind on multiple
Dick
things.
Grayson front, I also read Nightwing Year 1, and I read the whole thing on the DC Universe streaming app. And so that was kind of the first series of books I read on that, and it was a good read. It was 6 issues, and it was all about like just Nightwing's transition from Robin into Nightwing.
Boy, do I like that app.
Moments.
Should you
it's a great
decide
app.
to sponsor us?
Hence, nudge, nudge. Yeah, I read that on there. Those pretty fun. You saw some characters like Deadman and Jason Todd and Batgirl. Even the Titans like Donna Troy and Starfire were in it a lot. Superman has a cool issue where Dick Grayson like visits the Daily Planet, and Lois is trying to figure out who this kid is. And Superman tells him all about Nightwing and Flamebird as like ancient Kryptonian superheroes, and that kind of gives him
isn't that where Nightwing comes from, the name?
Yeah. So it showed that whole reason why. It was a good read. And the last thing I wanted to mention for comic relief was Titans. God. Titans, the live action Titans. Have you been keeping up with it? Have you watched episodes 2 and 3?
No, I need to watch the more recent episodes. I've only seen the first one.
Gotcha. Well, maybe we'll talk about it another time. But Hawk and Dove are interesting. Episode 3 was pretty cool. Don't know exactly what I could say, but it's getting good. I don't know. I still like it after 3 episodes.
Yeah, and it seems to be growing on Maddie. I know he really didn't like it at the start, but I think he's coming around.
It's starting to win him over. Especially with the way the Doom Patrol looks for episode 4. So
okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
I think it'd be cool.
All right. Well, that's the end of the show, everybody. I want to shout out on Instagram, all one word, Batman the Animated Fan. He does a lot of animated like DCAU, BTAS style artwork. He also does some like posing of action figures every once in a while, but he's been doing a lot of really good, just Batman the Animated Series style art. He's most recently done. He redid all the Dark Knight trilogy posters with Batman the Animated Series versions of the characters. And he's done a bunch of just like every once in a while he'll do like, oh, I just feel like drawing this character. Like on Halloween, he did a Phantasm versus Scarecrow artwork. There's also cool. He did the 3 Jokers cover, but with the 3 Scarecrow designs, the sock face, and then the normal BTAS, and then TNBA. So that's pretty cool. He does good stuff. So thank you for listening, everybody. This podcast is out every other Monday, even during our breaky poo we're taking right now. It's on iTunes and YouTube, where we would like to thank Adam Mullen for writing the music to our intro and all the other intros on the different shows. We're on social media at DCAU Watchtower, or you can email us at info@watchtowerdatabase.com. Those are the ways that you can get in on Untitled Mail segment. Video schedule is normally Sunday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday. We're taking a break till November 25th at the moment. So subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss out on all the little things we're posting in the meantime. And we're probably going to do a giveaway pretty soon. We'll talk about that more. And so that you know when we come back. And we're also on patreon.com/DCAU Watchtower if you'd like to throw some coffee money. Because we want to do this more and more often, and it definitely helps us out to get a little chunk of change every now and then to aid in that endeavor.
We got some cool things on the way. Like you can vote for which video is made that month for the channel. You get first looks at our webcomic Legacies.
Yeah, and you're also automatically entered into said giveaways when we do them.
Merch is coming, but it's not any DC Comics logo affiliated merch, but it's our own specific stuff.
Yeah, like there's actually already a couple things up. If you see, it might even be below this video if you're watching it on YouTube. By this time, I've maybe put up more stuff, but there, at the very least, there are Vanishing Point shirts, sweatshirts, and phone cases that you can get. So if you ever see anything below our videos that's like shop Watchtower Database, like that's actually us. It goes to us to help us out with video production, equipment, all that kind of thing. So thank you if you get any of that.
You can wear Maddie's face.
Yeah, you can have Maddie's face on your chest or your phone or your chest again, or your phone if you have a different phone, or perhaps on your chest even.
It's better than your basement.
That's true. Yeah, I know from personal experience what that's like. That's it. The end. Thank you again, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm Maddie Washburn. Just kidding, though. I'm not. Nope. What was the thing where? Your joke this time was I say a thing and then you say the same thing.
The same thing. Again.
Yeah. Okay. Goodbye.
Yeah. Okay. Goodbye.
Oh, thank you, Ted.
Bye. Thank you, Ted.